There's a moment right after you pull the ejection handle when you're not in the plane anymore, but you're not safe either. You're suspended between the aircraft that's killing you and the ground that might kill you worse. Hanging in the sky with a parachute that hasn't opened yet, watching your F-4 spiral down in flames, and all you can think is, I'm over North Vietnam. I should be dead 3 times over. Shot down, captured, and everything that came after. But I'm sitting here in 1976, 7 years out, trying to explain something I still don't understand myself. My name's Jack Morrison, Captain United States Air Force, or I was. They retired me in '74 with a medical discharge and a chest full of medals I don't look at. I grew up in Oklahoma, Stillwater. My dad ran a crop dusting business, taught me to fly when I was 14 and a beat-up steerman. By the time I graduated high school in '61, I had more hours in the air than most pilots twice my age. The Air Force seemed natural. Joined up in '62, went through flight training at Reese, then fighter training in F-100s. I was good, really good, top of my class. They sent me to F-4 Phantoms in '65, the newest, fastest fighter we had. I loved flying, loved everything about it. The power, the speed, the feeling of being untouchable at 40,000 feet. We called ourselves the Fighter Mafia, best pilots in the world, flying the best aircraft, fighting for the best country, young and stupid. That's what we were. I deployed to Thailand in March '66, Korat Air Base, 388 Tactical Fighter Wing. We flew missions over North Vietnam, Rolling Thunder they called it. Bomb runs, escort missions, striking supply routes along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. My backseater was Captain Dave Chen from Los Angeles. Weapons Systems Officer. Best WSO in the squadron. We'd been crewed together since training. Flew like one person in 2 seats. He handled the radar and weapons, I handled the flying. Perfect team. We'd completed 63 missions together by October '66. 63 times over North Vietnam and back. We thought we were invincible. That's when the SA-2s proved us wrong. Surface-to-air missiles, Soviet-made, radar-guided, deadly. They'd shot down a few of our planes already, but we'd learned to evade them, watch the radar warning receiver, spot the missile launch, brake hard, and outmaneuver it. Worked every time. Until it didn't. October 17th, 1966. Mission number 64. Bombing run near Hanoi, the most heavily defended airspace in the world. We knew it was dangerous. We flew it anyway. That was the mission that changed everything. The mission that turned me from a fighter pilot into a prisoner, into something less than human. 7 years later, I'm still trying to understand what happened. Still trying to figure out who I am, now that I'm not the person who climbed into that F-4. We were 40 miles northwest of Hanoi when the radar warning receiver started screaming. SAM launch. Somewhere below us, a SA-2 missile was coming up. Brake right, Dave yelled from the back seat. I rolled the F-4 hard right, pulled back on the stick, climbing and turning. The first missile passed behind us, proximity fuse detonating maybe 200 yards away. The aircraft shook, but nothing hit us. Another launch, Dave called. 2 o'clock. I could see it now, the telephone pole with fire coming out one end, tracking toward us. I rolled left, dove, pulled every evasion maneuver I knew. The missile adjusted, stayed on us. Chaff, I yelled. Dave punched the button, releasing clouds of aluminum strips to confuse the radar. The missile wavered, lost lock for a second. That's when the third one hit us. Never saw it coming. Must have been fired from a different site, different angle. The explosion was like getting hit by a train. The whole aircraft pitched forward, systems going red, fire warnings everywhere. We're hit, Dave shouted. Unnecessary. I could feel it. The stick was dead, hydraulics gone, controls not responding. The F-4 was rolling left, nose dropping. We were going down. Eject! Eject! I yelled into the intercom. Standard procedure. Backseater goes first, then the pilot. Dave pulled his handle. I heard the explosion as his seat fired, felt the aircraft lurch as his canopy blew off. My turn. I grabbed the ejection handle between my legs, pulled hard. Nothing happened. I pulled again, still nothing. The seat wouldn't fire. The F-4 was spinning now, dropping through 15,000 feet, the ground coming up fast. 10 seconds, maybe less, before impact. The alternate handle. There was an alternate ejection handle on the seat. I reached for it, found it, pulled. The world exploded. The canopy blew off, the rocket motor fired, and I was out. G-forces slammed me back into the seat, 15 Gs, maybe 20. Then suddenly I was free, tumbling through the air, watching my F-4 spiral down trailing smoke and flame. The parachute opened with a jerk that nearly broke my back. Suddenly everything was quiet, peaceful almost. Just me hanging under a white canopy, drifting down toward the green jungle below. That's when reality hit. I was over North Vietnam, deep in enemy territory. On the ground below, people were watching my parachute. People who wanted to kill me or capture me. I looked around, searching for Dave's chute. Saw it maybe a mile away, drifting toward the same general area. He'd made it out. We'd both made it out. Now we just had to survive. I checked my survival gear, radio, pistol, emergency beacon, first aid kit. Not much, but it was something. The ground was coming up fast. Rice paddies, villages, jungle. No clear landing zone. I pulled on the risers, tried to steer toward the trees. Better to land in the jungle than in the open. Better to hide than to run. The trees rushed up. I hit hard, branches breaking, parachute catching, hung there for a moment, suspended 20 feet up. Then the branch broke and I fell. Hit the ground, stunned, gasping for air, alive, for now. I lay there for maybe 30 seconds, trying to breathe, checking for injuries. Nothing broken, but everything hurt. The ejection had compressed my spine, and the landing had knocked the wind out of me. Move. Had to move. They saw the parachute. They'd be coming. I cut away the chute harness, grabbed my survival vest, and ran. Crashed through the jungle, branches whipping my face, not caring about noise, just running. Had to put distance between me and the landing site. 100 yards in, I stopped, listened. Voices. Vietnamese voices, coming from the direction I'd landed. Lots of them. I keyed my survival radio. Mayday, Mayday. Gunfighter 203 is down. 1 mile northwest of the F-4 crash site. Evading on foot. Request immediate SAR. Search and rescue. They'd send helicopters. Try to get us out, but they'd have to fight through the same SAMS that shot us down, and it would take time. Hours, maybe. I had to survive until then. I moved deeper into the jungle, found a dense thicket, and crawled in. Made myself as small as possible, pistol in hand, listening. The voices got closer. Militiamen, farmers with rifles, local security forces. They were spreading out, searching. I could hear them calling to each other, coordinating the search. My radio crackled. Gunfighter 203, Sandy 01. We're inbound with SAR. Can you give us a position? Sandy, the A-1 Sky Raiders that escorted rescue helicopters. They were coming. But I couldn't talk now. The Vietnamese were too close. I clicked the transmit button twice. Roger, I hear you, but I can't talk. Gunfighter 203, understand 2 clicks. We're 15 minutes out. Stay hidden. 15 minutes. A lifetime when you're hiding 20 feet from people who want to kill you. Then I heard Dave, his voice on the radio. Sandy 01, Gunfighter 203 Bravo. I'm in the open, multiple hostiles closing in. I need immediate extraction. He was in trouble, worse trouble than me. I should have felt relief that he was alive. Instead, I felt terror. If they caught him, they'd make him talk. Make him tell them where I was. Gunfire, automatic weapons, Vietnamese voices shouting. Dave's voice on the radio, panicked. They're shooting! Then static. Nothing. Gunfighter 203 Bravo, do you copy? Sandy 01 called. Dave, do you copy? No answer, just silence. And I knew. Dave was captured or dead. Probably captured. They wanted prisoners more than bodies. I stayed in that thicket while the search continued around me. Stayed there while the rescue helicopters arrived. Sandy aircraft strafing the area with their 20mm cannons, trying to suppress the ground fire. Stayed there while Vietnamese militiamen walked past, so close I could have reached out and touched them. The radio crackled again. Gunfighter 203, Sandy 01. The LZ is too hot, too many guns. We can't get the chopper in. Can you move to alternate position? I looked around. The jungle was swarming with searchers. I couldn't move without being seen. I clicked the transmit button 3 times. Negative. Understood. We'll try again at dusk. Stay hidden. Stay alive. Then they left. The Sandys pulled off. The helicopters withdrew. I was alone. The searching continued all afternoon. I sat in that thicket, not moving, barely breathing, while Vietnamese militiamen searched the jungle around me. At one point, a man stood 3 feet away, rifle in hand, looking right at the thicket. I could see his face. Young guy, maybe 20, probably a farmer before the war. We made eye contact. For 1 second, I thought he saw me. Thought it was over. Then he looked away, moved on, kept searching. I don't know if he saw me and let me go or if I was just lucky. Don't know if he was showing mercy or if the jungle shadows saved me. Don't want to know. Dusk came. The search hadn't stopped, but it had moved away from my position. I keyed the radio. Sandy 01, Gunfighter 203. Can you try again? Roger, 203. Inbound now. Pop smoke when you hear us. I heard the A-ones first, that distinctive radial engine sound. Saw them come over low, guns ready. The rescue helicopter came in behind them, a jolly green giant looking for a place to hover. I popped the smoke grenade. Orange smoke billowed up from the jungle. The helicopter saw it, started moving toward me. That's when the shooting started. Automatic weapons fire from multiple directions. The Vietnamese had been waiting, watching for the smoke. They'd known I'd try to signal the helicopter. The Jolly Green took hits, started trailing smoke, pulled away, climbing hard. The Sandys rolled in, strafing the gun positions, but there were too many, too much ground fire. We can't get in, the helicopter pilot called. LZ is too hot, I'm sorry. 203, we have to abort. Wait, I started, but they were already gone. The sound of the engines fading, leaving me alone again. The Vietnamese knew where I was now. The smoke had given away my position. I heard them coming, lots of them, surrounding the area. I ran. Crashed through the jungle, no longer caring about noise, just running. But I was exhausted, dehydrated, and they knew the terrain. I made it maybe half a mile before I stumbled into a rice paddy and fell. Got up, kept running, but they were faster. I heard them behind me, close, getting closer. I turned to look and my foot caught on something. Went down hard, face first in the mud, looked up. 5 men with rifles pointed at me. Militiamen in black pajamas, farmers with AK-47s, young and old, all of them angry, all of them wanting to shoot me. I reached for my pistol. One of them kicked my hand away, grabbed the gun. Another one hit me in the head with a rifle butt. Stars exploded across my vision. I tasted blood. They dragged me up, hands behind my back. One of them tied my wrists with wire, tight, cutting into the skin. Another one was yelling in Vietnamese, something angry. I didn't understand the words, but I understood the tone. They wanted to kill me, right there, put a bullet in my head and leave me in the rice paddy. An older man, probably the village leader, stepped forward, spoke sharply to the others. They argued, but he was in charge. He pointed at me, then at the village. They were taking me prisoner instead. They forced me to walk, hands tied, gun barrels in my back, through the rice paddies, through the village. People came out to watch, old women, children, everyone staring at the American pilot who'd been bombing their country. Some of them spat at me, some threw rocks. A woman slapped me across the face, screaming something I didn't understand. The guards didn't stop her. We reached a small building. They shoved me inside, into a dark room with dirt floor and bamboo walls, pushed me down, tied my ankles together. Then they left, locked the door, left me in the darkness. I was a prisoner. The real nightmare was just beginning. They kept me in that village for 3 days. No food, little water. The guards would come in periodically, ask questions in broken English. Where is your base? What is your target? How many aircraft? I gave them nothing. Name, rank, serial number. That's all I was required to give under the Geneva Convention. They didn't care about the Geneva Convention. The interrogations got worse. They'd tie my arms behind my back, pull them up until my shoulders felt like they'd dislocate. Leave me like that for hours. The pain was indescribable, like being torn apart from the inside. Tell us about your base. Morrison Jack, Captain, FR 4523889. Tell us your targets. Morrison Jack, Captain, FR 4523889. They beat me. Rifle butts, fists, bamboo canes, broke my nose, cracked ribs, split my lip. The pain blurred together after a while. Everything hurt so much that individual injuries stopped mattering. On the 4th day, they moved me. Truck ride north, hands tied, blindfolded. Hours of rough roads, no idea where we were going. When they finally stopped and pulled off the blindfold, I saw it. Hoa Lo Prison. The Hanoi Hilton, we called it later. The main POW camp for captured American pilots. They processed me like cargo, stripped me, searched me, put me in prison pajamas, black and white striped like something from a movie, except this was real. They put me in a cell, 7 feet by 7 feet. Concrete walls, concrete floor, 1 bucket for waste, a board for a bed, rats. The smell of human misery so thick you could taste it. I was alone, no contact with other prisoners, just me and the rats and the guards who came for interrogations. The interrogations at Hoa Lo were worse, professional, systematic. They knew how to break you without killing you. Rope torture, tying your arms behind your back, pulling them up and back until the bones ground together. Leave you like that for days. Stress positions, standing for hours, days, unable to sit or lie down. Your legs swell, your feet split open, you hallucinate from exhaustion. Isolation. Weeks in the cell with no contact, no sound, except your own breathing. You start to lose your mind, start talking to yourself, start forgetting who you are. They asked about Dave, my backseater. They told me he'd talked, told them everything, gave them every detail about our mission, our base, our tactics. I didn't believe them. Dave wouldn't break. Dave was stronger than that. But then again, so was I. Or I thought I was. 6 months in, I started to crack. Started to doubt everything. Started to think maybe talking wouldn't be so bad. Maybe if I gave them something small, something that didn't matter, they'd ease up. Let me rest. Let me heal. That's when you know you're breaking. When you start negotiating with yourself about what you can give up. I was a prisoner for 6 years and 4 months. From October 66 to March 73. 6 years and 4 months in that cell, in those interrogations, in that hell. They released us after the Paris Peace Accords, flew us out on C-141s, cheering crowds when we landed at Clark Air Base in the Philippines. Freedom. Home. We'd survived, except we hadn't. Not really. Our bodies came home. The rest of us was still in those cells. Dave didn't make it. They told me after we got out. He'd died in captivity in 1968, dysentery and malnutrition. They buried him in a mass grave outside Hanoi. We recovered his remains in 1974. He's at Arlington now. I think about him every day. Think about how we ejected together, survived the shoot-down together, and then I lived while he died. Think about whether he really talked, like they said, or if that was just another torture, another way to break me. I'll never know. That's what haunts me most. The Air Force gave me a medical retirement in '74, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress. Gave me a disability check and sent me home to Oklahoma. I can't fly anymore. Tried once, went up in a Cessna with an instructor. Got to 3,000 feet and had a panic attack. Felt like the plane was falling, like I was ejecting again, like I was hanging in the air over North Vietnam. We had to land. I haven't been up since. The nightmares are constant. I'm back in the cell, back in interrogation, back in the ropes, shoulders dislocating, screaming for it to stop. I wake up thrashing, fighting invisible guards, my wife having to shake me awake. My wife, Sarah. We were engaged before I deployed. She waited 6 years for me to come home. Married me in '73 despite everything. Despite the nightmares, the rage, the times I wake up not knowing where I am. She's a saint. I don't deserve her. I can't hold down a job. Get into arguments with bosses, with coworkers. Someone tells me what to do, and I'm back in prison, back in interrogation, and I'm screaming at them. Got fired from 3 jobs in 2 years. The VA gives me pills for depression, for anxiety, for sleep. They help some. Not enough. Nothing's enough. Other POWs talk about closure, about moving on, about putting it behind us. Some of them can. Good for them. I can't, because I broke. That's the truth nobody wants to hear. 6 months in, I started talking. Gave them information, nothing critical, nothing that got anyone killed, but I talked. Violated the code of conduct, betrayed everything I believed in. I told myself it was survival, told myself everyone breaks eventually, told myself it didn't matter, but it matters. It matters every day when I look in the mirror and see a man who broke, a man who gave up, a man who wasn't strong enough. They gave me medals, the Silver Star, the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart. Heroism, they said. Exceptional service, they said. I threw them in a drawer. Haven't looked at them in years. I'm not a hero. Heroes don't break. Heroes don't talk. Heroes die before they give up. I survived. That's all. Survived by giving them what they wanted. Survived by betraying myself. Jack Morrison died in that prison. The person I was, the fighter pilot, the hotshot, the guy who thought he was invincible. He didn't come home. This person came home. This hollow shell who flinches at loud noises and can't sleep without pills and can't hold down a job and can't fly. This person who broke. It's been 7 years since I came home. 7 years and I'm still in that cell. Still in interrogation. Still trying to hold on to something that's already gone. Sarah asks me sometimes, when are you going to let it go? I don't know how to tell her that there's nothing to let go. That cell, that prison, that torture, it's not something that happened to me. It's what I am now. The shoot-down was in '66. The ejection, the parachute, the moment suspended between the plane and the ground, that lasted maybe 2 minutes. The fall never stopped. I'm still falling, still hanging in the air over North Vietnam, still waiting to hit the ground, still waiting for it to be over. People ask me what it was like. Being shot down, being captured, being tortured for 6 years. I tell them what they want to hear. That I survived, that I'm grateful, that I'm a hero. I don't tell them the truth. That I broke, that I betrayed myself, that I'm still in that prison, still in that cell, still screaming for it to stop. Don't tell them that every day is another interrogation, another test I'm failing, another reminder that I wasn't strong enough. Don't tell them that the worst torture isn't the ropes or the beatings or the stress positions. It's living with yourself after, living with what you did, what you gave up, who you became. The shoot-down lasted seconds. The ejection lasted minutes. The captivity lasted 6 years. But living with it, that's forever. I'm 45 years old. Got 30, maybe 40 years left if I'm lucky, or unlucky depending on how you look at it. 30 more years in this cell. 30 more years of nightmares. 30 more years of knowing I broke. 30 more years of falling. They tell me I'm free. Tell me the war is over. Tell me I'm home. But I'm still over North Vietnam, still hanging from that parachute, still watching my F-4 spiral down in flames, still falling, always falling, and the ground never comes.